So I'm really hoping that I would do justice for this movie review for Love, Simon. I think it's on a high right now where a lot of people are raving and gushing about it, and I really don't want to disappoint anyone. But without further ado, let's just get on with my movie review. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with another movie review. I haven't been doing a movie review in a while, not because I haven't been going to the movies. I've been going a lot actually. It's just that none of the movies I've been watching recently really, required or made me feel that I need to do a movie review, but this one definitely did. So anyways, I loved Love, Simon. It was a fantastic movie. Before I get started with my review, let's just start off with the summary / non-spoiler of this section. So for those who don't know, Love, Simon is based on the book Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens, Agenda by Becky Albertalli. I hope I pronounced that name right. And I've never read this book before, so just as a disclaimer out there that this review is purely for the movie. I've never read this book. I don't know if I'll pick this book up just because once I watch a movie, I don't like going back to the book because then everyone always knows that the book is always better than the movie. So I don't want to go back to the book and then think, oh, the movie wasn't that great, and just kind of like cast a shadow on my movie experience. So because of that, I don't really want to read the book just because I'm afraid that, I will think negatively about the movie afterward, since right now I love this movie and I don't want anything to, cast a shadow over it. So just letting you know, this is purely for the movie and not for the book. I don't know what the comparison is like. I don't know how well this movie follows the book. So this is I'm not going to talk about that at all in this review. Anyways, just wanted to point that out there before I start the summary of the movie. So Simon is your everyday regular teenage guy. He has a family who he's pretty close with. He has a sister that he actually likes. He also has a few close friends that he grew up with and he loves. He's also a decent student, and despite not being extremely popular, he gets along relatively well with his fellow peers. However, he has this one big secret, and that's the fact that he's gay. And he knows that deep down, his family will support and love him no matter what, but for some reason he's still very hesitant about telling anyone about it. And then one day, his best friend Leah tells him about this online confession from another closeted gay student. And from there he starts emailing the guy, aka Blue, under the alias Jacques, and from there they form this really genuine connection. However, long and behold, his emails are quickly discovered by another fellow student called Martin, who basically uses the emails as a way of blackmail to force Simon to get along, to basically set him up with his friend Abby. And from that point on, craziness ensues. Simon tries to help Martin with setting up with his friend Abby, while also trying to keep the fact that he's gay a secret, and at the same time trying to keep this connection with Blue. And at the end, you find out what happens with Simon and his secret, as well as the identity of Blue. So that's essentially what this movie is about. There's not too much in terms of plot. It's pretty much straightforward. It's the journey that really makes you emotional, and that's why I love this movie so much. The movie definitely made me cry in the terms of having my eyes slightly moist because I don't really cry in movies. It definitely made me laugh out loud, and it definitely made me cheer for Simon and his friends as well as his family. So I cannot recommend this movie enough. I think this movie is meant for everyone, regardless of whether or not you're part of the LGBT community. I think this movie really teaches you to learn to love and accept who you are, and I think that's a really important message for everyone. So anyways, that's all I'm going to say for like the non-spoiler section. I think let's just move on with the spoiler section of this movie review. So let me just say this first. This is probably one of the best movies that I've watched so far in 2018. I've watched so many movies by this point in the past 3 months, and I think this one takes the cake. And I would admit that this movie is actually a bit cheesy. Most of the film is actually pretty cheesy, to be honest, but it's still so heartwarming and it's so good, and it just gives you all the feels. So this movie was very emotional. There was this one scene, and this is the one scene that really got me, and was the one scene where I kind of teared up a little bit, and that was the scene where after Simon had his secrets revealed, not by him but by Martin, and he decided to come out to his family, and his mother and father and his sister were kind of shocked, but they were processing it. And right after that, his father was like, hey, can I talk to you? And Simon was like, yeah, sure, like, what's up? And his father's like, okay, so when did you know? And Simon was just like, oh, when I was about 13, that's when I realized. and his dad's like, wow, like 4 years, and 4 years I completely missed on this. And because this entire time he was making jokes on gay people, and there was actually a scene previously where he made a joke about that, and Simon was like not happy about it. You can see in his face. And so he's like, wow, like I cannot believe I missed all this, you know, like it's not acceptable, like I shouldn't have said that. And Simon's like, it's fine, Dad, like, you know, like it was a joke. And you know, his father was just like, yeah, but like, you know, like he was just like so emotional, like overcome with the fact that like he missed out on this major fact about his son's life. And at one point he was like, you know, I still want, like, in case this got lost in translation, but like I love you no matter what. And that was that was seen, like, despite how cheesy it was, because it was definitely a little cheesy, but it was so emotional. Like I think I just replayed the whole scene. But like it was so good. Like that's how good it was, because I pretty much remember like exactly when that took place and like how the dialogue went, and I'm just like, wow. So anyways, moving on to the other parts of this review. But I like the fact that this film really teaches you the importance of family and friends and just being brave, because after that scene he like decided to, you know what, I'm going to be brave about it. And you can see that shift in his personality, where in the beginning he didn't want anyone to know that he was gay, and after this secret came out he decided, you know what, it's out already, people know. And he like accepted, he didn't even try to deny it, because he's like, well, it's true. And he decides to just make this online confession, like not the fact that he's gay, but the fact that he liked Blue. And he had so much guts actually to just be on that Ferris wheel at the really end and just kept going and going while he was waiting for Blue to show up. And I was just like, I really hope, I mean, I know it's gonna be a happy ending at the end, because, you know, come on, this is a movie. But like I was kind of, you know, a little nervous at that point, and like everyone around was like, oh, I can't watch this anymore, it's so painful. But like I liked how you see that change in Simon from when he was scared to being so brave to be able to do that. And I think that's is a lot for a character. So anyways, I can see why there's such a huge hype of this movie. This movie was fantastic, can't recommend it enough. Slightly debating about reading the book, but as I already stated, I don't really want to do that, just in case, you know, I get a little let down with the movie afterwards. And right now I'm thinking about rewatching the movie again because I can. And then moving along with the identity of Blue, I kind of suspected Bram from the beginning. I mean, he was just like, there was a little subtle hints here and there, especially about the Oreos. I think that was him that was like, oh, maybe, you know. But then there was that scene at the party where he was making out that girl, and I was like, oh, maybe not. And clearly Simon was the same. He's like, oh, nope, never mind, not him. But I was really hoping it would be him, because he was like so cute, and I was like, oh, I hope they end up together. And out of all the characters, I think the only one I would have suspected other than Bram would have been the character that Miles played. I forget the character's name, but he's like that guy in the theater with like that highlighted hair, and he was the one that Simon went up to, was like, oh, you know, is it you, at the really end after his, like, you know, his confession went public without his consent. And that was the only other person that I suspected. I was like, oh, maybe it's him too. Like anyone else, like all the people that he suspected, I was like, I don't think so. But I was really hoping it would be Bram, and I'm so glad it was, because they look so cute together. So anyways, moving on to the cast, because I do want to talk a little bit about them. I think Nick Robinson did a fantastic job in this role. I actually went and googled him afterward to see if he was actually straight or not, because I was like, oh, he's so cute looking, and then I realized he's younger than me, so I was like, all right, never mind on that part. And then I found out that he actually was the main guy in Everything, which Emily and I did a movie reaction a while back, so you can check that up if you want. But he looked totally different. I don't know, I think it was like the hair or something, like his hair was long and everything. So somehow I just didn't connect the dots between the two characters, even though they're the same actor. But I think he did a fantastic job, and I'm really glad that he played this role. I also like the character who played Bram. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name because it's like kind of complicated looking, but I will put it here for those who, you know, don't know his real name. But for some reason I like couldn't pinpoint where I know this actor from, and then I realized that he was in The Flash. He plays Wally, and I was like, okay, well, I really like The Flash, so I'm really glad that's him. I don't know why I didn't connect the two, because I watch The Flash a lot, actually. Anyways, I'm really glad that he was in this role. So another thing I want to point out that I thought was really interesting was the fact that I recognized Catherine Langford, who plays Hannah in 13 Reasons Why. Emily and I actually did a huge, intense TV series recap on this, so you can check that out, that playlist that I did with her. And I was just like, wow, like she's in this movie, you know, like I'm glad to see her on the big screen. And then there's also Miles, who's also a character in that series. I forgot his name in it, but he's like the blonde hair dude in that series. And I was like, wow, it's like a mini 13 Reasons Why reunion or something. But I was really glad to see those two. Like, I feel like after watching so many shows and movies, that after a while you start to know and recognize all the characters or all the actors and actresses. And I mean, obviously some of them are, you know, but it's really nice to see some of them when they were on like when they were a TV show, and then now they're on the big screen. So it's like a kudos for them as well. But I don't know, I thought that was pretty interesting, so I just want to point that out. So overall, that's all I really have to say in terms of this movie review. I love this movie. I don't know if you guys can tell already. I think this movie is fantastic. And like I already said, I want to watch it a second time, and I think I will in the next week or two. Once it starts to, you know, slow down a little bit, I think, because right now it's pretty popular. I remember when I went like at 4:30 on a random day, and it was packed. Like, it was packed. So I was kind of shocked by that. But that's all I have to say for this movie review. If you do like this review, do give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's it for today, guys. Thank you. Bye.